Hey everyone, this is Eric from Code and Console Gaming, giving you a guide on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. In this guide, I'm going to show you how to build an ice farm. Before you get started, there's a few things that you should know. The way this AFK Ice Farm works is we have a few things working together. So first and foremost is we have the AFK part, where the player will stand in water and it'll spin us around. The second part is we have water source blocks mixed in with the location of being in a cold biome. Inside here, what we have is the ice forming, and from there we just go around in a circle, breaking it, making a collection method, and the last part is we have all the ice collecting in one spot for us there. For this ice farm, we have two different variations depending on the resources available. The first one we have, if you're at the start, is a lot easier. We have a minecart going around collecting it, and this just goes back and forth collecting everything and bringing everything to 4 hoppers at the end and putting it into 4 different chests here. The other method is a little bit more expensive. I'd recommend this if you have an iron farm. This one has hoppers built underneath, as you can see, and all these hoppers are fed to the chests at the end. Depending on what version you choose of this, there's a few things you should know. You end up going with the minecart on a hopper, this will be 4 blocks tall. If you end up going with the hoppers themselves, it's going to end up being 2 blocks tall. If you want to do a autocrafter underneath this where it converts it automatically into either packed ice or blue ice, it's going to add a height of 2 to both of these builds. Before you even consider building this, what you're going to need is Silk Touch. If you do not have this enchantment, it will not work. What we're going to do is we're going to put it on the pickaxe itself, and when you use it, it will automatically break it, and you can then pick the ice up, or well, in these builds, it'll automatically go into the collection method. If you do not have it, what'll happen is it'll break, and it'll turn the ice into water. Before you get started with this build, there's a few things that you should know with ice in Minecraft. First and foremost is you need to build in a cold biome. Building in any other biome won't work. I'm pretty sure that water will freeze once you get to a certain height, but I don't think you want to build this ugly thing 500 feet in the air. Right now I turned on the game tick speed to be over 500, so any water that's in here will freeze automatically. Right now I have 3 different things built here. So I have a stack of dirt just to cover up the water when I place it. Another one is a transparent block, and then just out in the open, and then you can see in the regular biome right here. So when I place water in the ice biome or snow biome, it'll freeze right away, and that's where there is nothing above it on the surface. As soon as I place water down though, and there's something above it, this will not freeze. So I would highly suggest not building this underground. Second is, even with the transparent block, I can put water down and it won't freeze. If it's running, it will still end up freezing as long as it's a source block. So as you can see here, as soon as I put that into a source block, it'll freeze. When creating the build for this, always consider the materials that you're going to be using. For this, we're going to be using an AFK pickaxe. It's going to go and harvest everything. Always consider that we may hit the controller or accidentally look in the wrong direction, and we're going to build this out of wood to prevent this, since we will have an amount of time before it breaks. Whereas if we have stone, it'll automatically break. So I would highly recommend not using stone, smooth stone, cobblestone, deep slate, anything that will break instantly with a pickaxe. Once you have your location picked out, what we're going to do is going to get the foundation ready. This is going to be 16 by 10. If you're going to end up putting a building around this, your building is going to be one more than the laid out area. So right now this is 16 by 10. Your building is going to be 18 by 12. If you want to have the autocrafter implemented into it, here's a list of materials that you need. First and foremost, we're going to need 2 Autocrafters. We're going to need 4 Redstone Comparators, 2 Redstone Repeaters. We're going to need 2 Composters, 2 Hoppers, 2 chests, 4 of any block at all. What we're going to do is we're going to send the redstone signal into this, so this doesn't matter what it is, just as long as it's there. Then we're going to need 2 redstone dust, and then a stack of any type of seeds, since we're going to use this to fill up the composter. Depending on what version of the build you end up going with, here's the full material list of the Minecart version if you end up going with that. First, we start with 5 stacks of spruce planks, and then the stair variation of that, we have a total of 28, and then the slab version of that, we end up going with 14. Along with that, you're going to need 4 hoppers and then 2 chests. The minecart itself, you're going to need 1. We're going to use about 30 powered rail on this, and then 26 rails on it. You're going to need 4 packed ice on it, or blue ice. The reason why is we're going to use lanterns near the ice, and we don't want this to melt. Packed ice and blue ice will prevent that from happening. We're going to need 8 blocks of redstone, 2 lanterns, and then 4 of any sign that we're going to end up using to block the water from moving in this. If you end up going with the hopper version for the ice cart, you're going to need 3 stacks of planks. I always recommend going a little bit over just in case I'm off. 28 stairs, 14 slabs, 48 hoppers this time, 2 lanterns, 4 signs of any type, 4 chests, and 4 packed ice for this. Once you're done mapping out your area, we're going to get started on the autocrafter for the blue ice. We're going to go to the bottom right. You're going to go up 1 and then left 2. From that, you're going to point this towards the left. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to put a hopper on top. Then you're going to get a comparator and point that out straight from it and switch that on subtraction mode. Once that's done, we're going to point another one into it, get a composter, and then we're going to fill this until you see bone meal at the top. There you go, perfect. Then from the subtraction point, you're going to go out right in front of that, put any block, then go here beside it, put the redstone, and then get your repeater out, put 1 facing out from there, and then from that point, you're going to put a block that the repeater's facing into. Here's an overhead view, just give you a better look. Once you're at this point, we're going to start testing this out. I would suggest bringing gold nuggets and throwing it in, since this is basically going to do the same thing. As you can see, it's going in and it's sending a redstone signal as soon as it's built, and this is firing out gold bars. Once you know this part's working, we're just going to turn it off and clear this out. You can also throw your ice in here if you want. I just suggest nuggets, since you can break them apart and put it back together and throw it in here just to test this fully. Once the first side of this autocrafter is up and running, what we're going to do is get started on the second half. For this, what we're going to do is we're going to get your autocrafter out and place 1 to the left of the first one, and then point a hopper directly into that. Whenever you're placing down a hopper, be mindful of where it's pointing. As you can see, this one's pointing towards the left on the autocrafter here, and the one on the top is pointing straight down towards the autocrafter underneath it. From that, what we're going to do is we're going to get the comparator, go behind the autocrafter that we just built, place it, and put it on subtraction mode. Then what we're going to do is we're going to place another comparator going into that, and then a composter, and do the same thing we did before. Once that's done, we're going to get a random block, place it there, then redstone, a repeater that's pointing out from that redstone, and then another block right beside it. So this is what you should have right now. And here's the aerial view of it. Once you're done double checking everything, what we're going to do is we're going to run it straight from the start. So let's put more nuggets in there, and then what we're going to do is we are going to place a chest in front of this one. So what's going to happen is we're placing the nuggets, or your ice would go in here. This would convert it over to packed ice or gold bars. The gold bars will spit out into this hopper here. This hopper will spit everything into this auto crafter. So this will be your packed ice or gold bars. It'll recreate it into a full bar, or, well, sorry, a gold block or a blue ice block. Once that's done and it has it, it'll go and spit it into this chest. Once you're done this part, your auto crafting is done. Once you're done creating the auto crafter for the blue ice, what you could do is you could put a switch at the beginning if you'd like to turn this machine on and off. So go to the front, put a lever, turn that on, and what this is going to do is prevent this hopper from working. So as you can tell, you can put the ice in the top and it will not spit in here. The reason why we're doing this is just in case you want ice from it and you don't want to automatically turn into blue ice. At the flick of a switch, you can turn it back on and off. As you can see, everything's going through. Another note is to leave this open. So as you can tell, there's gold nuggets and there's ice in there. The reason why I like to leave this open is if stuff gets thrown in accidentally, you can at least go in there and fix what's in the machine, taking it out and resetting to make everything work here. So let's put this in. Oh, it's already in. Turn it off. And it's an easy fix. Back up and running. From this point, now we're going to get started on the collection method. So assuming that you didn't build this, it's going to be on ground level. If you did end up building the auto crafter, it's going to be exactly like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 2 up and then start building from there. So this should be 6 wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What we're going to do is go up and then build this 1, 2, 4, 5, and then this should be 16 long in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And this should line up right with the corner that I built out. Then let's fill the rest of this out and put the surrounding area. So this is where the split is going to happen. If you end up building the hopper method, just leave it as this and you could skip ahead. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the minecart with a hopper on it. So what I'm going to do is go to the one side. If you're going with the minecart with a hopper and you have the auto crafter underneath it, what we're going to do is we're going to put hopper straight into this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you end up making this build but you don't have the auto crafter underneath and you don't care about it, this is where it'll change. So instead of having these 4 all pointing into that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this and I am going to point them in this direction. And break this side. So as you can see, all 4 are pointing here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the chests in front. If you do end up going with this, what we're going to do is we are going to put a wall here. So naturally you would do a regular wall, but since this one we're going to have the chests here, I'm just going to put these stairs upside down so you have the ability to access this, as you can see. Once you have that figured out, what we're going to do is we're going to fill out the rest of this floor. And then we're going to fill out the surrounding wall. Once you're done building this wall and you have it set up like this, what we're going to do is go 3 blocks out. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to punch out this hole. And same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace this with redstone. Once we have this set up, what we're going to do is we're going to get started on the rails. So let's go to the far side, and what we're going to do is we're going to make the minecart go and bounce off this wall and bounce off this wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so 5 from here, and the middle point is on the redstone, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. And on this corner, you need to crouch down, but this is where the minecart is going to dump everything into the hoppers. So from that point, then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and place one here. If this ends up connecting, what you could do is you could just break this and place one above, and let's reconnect that and fix that. So from that point, go. We're going to go and put 5 more rails, and 1, 2, 3. Again, crouch, place, and make it go back. Oop. I did not mean to do that. And there you go. Now, from the top view, it should look something like this. Now, let's go through and make sure our hopper works with no issues. As you can see, it's going back and forth. And there are no issues. Now, let's throw some planks above this. Fill this up just to test. And as you can see, it got my plank. And let's make sure it's going in here. And it works perfect. Once that test's done, what we're going to do is we're going to cover up the top of this. So let's fill this all in. Once that's done, you should have a floating box in the sky, along with your chests on the end, if you end up building it with just that level. And if you have the automation farm, there should be a hopper sitting in this, and this should be just a flat wall. So once you're done that, let's get started. And what we're going to do is, since this is the side that we're going to have the AFK part on, we're going to make all the stairs face that direction. So this should be 6, and then 14 from that point, and then another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then your 14 slabs will go across, and it should look something like this. Once you have your top area set up, what we're going to do is we're going to start filling this up with water. We're going to waterlog all of these stairs to make sure there's infinite water source blocks popping up on the rest of this. I'm going to assume that you have no idea how to make infinite water. So what you can do is you can either go and break ice in a 2x2 area if you have it. If not, what you can do is you can make a surrounding area and get 2 water buckets, put one at one corner, one at the opposite corner, and then it will always autofill no matter what you do. Once you have your infinite water source, what we're going to do is we're going to start filling this and waterlogging all the stairs. So let's go at the corner, since we want to utilize the infinite source, and put it there. Now this block should be a infinite source block, and we can just keep taking from there. And then just fill the rest of it, which shouldn't be too hard from this point. Now, once you have all your water in, you should see ice starting to form up on the top layer. What we're going to do is we're going to just break a few just in case, to make sure that the minecart underneath is still working. Just in case some people could put holes in it, and that could be quite frustrating since it could break the tracks. What we're going to do is we're just going to break everything, and as you can see, some of it's disappearing. Oh, well, and let's make sure it's going and putting it in the chest. So it looks like everything's working fine. Once you have the ice building up at the top and the minecart's working inside, what we're going to do is we're going to get started on the AFK part. So go to the side that you want to build it at, And look at these stairs, and you're going to go down to 1, 2. I want to fill this out 4 blocks wide. So it should be up from this point. This is going to be 14, so just as wide. And go from the wall. Once that's done, we're going to fill in this entire hole here. Once that part's done, what we're going to do is just make sure that you're on level with the ice. And once you're there, we're going to put a wall going around this. Once you have that done, we're going to go one from the middle, and this is going to be 12 long, and we're going to put it going across. Once you're done placing these blocks, what we're going to do is we're going to put some holes in it. So 1, 2, and underneath that, 1 and 2, and then again, same thing, 1, 2, the third one, we're going to put holes, and then go in and place your packed or blue ice, depending on what one you're using. And then we're going to get signs. I like to put it on the inside. I don't know if it makes any difference, but to me it looks nicer. Once that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to go, since we're going to put a water source block here, we're going to go and put a lantern 2, 3 out from that. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a water source block here, and this is going to prevent it from melting. You can also use glowstone and just place it on this block here. It'll work just the same, or frog lights work just as well. The torches, though, will not reach from this spot. Same thing on the other side, since the water source block is going to go right here on this one. Same thing, both on the right side of the ice. So right here, there's going to be one right here, and then one right here. So we are going to put the lantern there, or your glowstone right here. Once you're done that, what we're going to do is you're going to get your water, and you're going to place one to the left, and then the one above to the right of that. And then again, a one on the top, you're going to place to the right, which should make the water go around and curve like this. And then another one on the other side, and it should just reach this ice. As you can see, the 2 chests underneath are clear right now. What we're going to do is we're going to give this a test run and make sure everything's working perfectly. So you're going to go on the one side, face forward, and then you're just going to hold down the trigger to mine this ice. One thing that I do is I play on an Xbox controller. Obviously, depending on if you're PlayStation or Switch, do whatever accordingly. But what I do is I will put an elastic around it just to hold down the trigger. If you're on the PC, what you can do is you can press start, go to settings, go down to mouse and keyboard, and look at the attack destroy button. Right now it's set on my mouse for the left trigger. What I can do is click that and hit enter. And then what I'll do is I'll put something heavy on my keyboard to essentially make it press down the button the entire time. Depending on your keyboard, you could put something different. Right now, mine's enter at the bottom right. It's just simple and easy. Another thing to know as well is when you're on this, if you're using Depth Strider 3, this will actually prevent it from working. As you can tell, the entire time I was going around in circles, no issues. As soon as I put this on, you can see the difference in speed. When you have this on, this will actually break the AFK part. And as you can tell, I hit the ice and I don't have enough momentum and it stopped completely. But if I go back into it and take this off, you can see my speed picks up and everything's back to normal. Another thing as well is do not use Frostwalker. If you try and use Frostwalker, this will just turn this into ice, breaking the AFK part of it, rendering this useless. Once you're done the AFK part, your farm should be fully functional. Right now, I'm going to just destroy it. I'm going to switch it over to the hopper version to show how that one's built. Now what we're going to do is the hopper version of this setup. So it should look something like this, where you have it the same height, 2 up, and then build this surrounding barrier around it. From this, again, it's 6 wide and then 16 in length. So let's get started. From this point, what we're going to do is we're going to put the hoppers in between, make sure to crouch and point them all in the same direction. And you should have 14 hoppers in total here. I almost forgot to mention this, but I've already filled mine with water. But before you start filling this up, go double check and make sure that all your hoppers are pointed in the correct direction. Once that's done, it should look something like this. So the outside barrier should be 6 by 16, and then the inside should be 4 by 14. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get started with the stairs. So this side is going to be the one we're going to have the AFK farm at. So let's start placing these stairs there. So again, 6, and then another 14 here. And another 6 in total at this side. Once you're done that, what we're going to do is we're going to put 14 slabs down across the one side. And this is what you should have at that. The next step now is to waterlog all of these stairs and fill it up. Just in case you don't know how to make an infinite water source, what you could do is you could go down to the ice if you have it underneath and make a 2x2 grid, and this will be infinite. Or what you can do is you could go through and just place a square anywhere, which is 4x4 with the middle missing. 1, 2, 3, and then go and place it on each corner, and then this should autofill, and anything you get from this will now be full. Now once you have your water ready to go, what we're going to do is we're going to start at the corner. So go here and 1 and 2. And what should happen is now this one here at the corner should turn into an infinite block. So crouch down, and then you could take from there. The reason why you want to crouch down when you're doing this is just to prevent yourself from going into the hoppers. It can get quite annoying. Once you're done waterlogging all the stairs, you should see the ice starting to form as if the infinite source blocks are now above this. And then you can always double check and make sure that the ice is going inside these chests. Now, once this is all filled, what we're going to do is we're going to start building the AFK area. So if you're building this on ground level, you do not need to build this layer. But if you built it up like I did, what we're going to do is you're going to go 2 down from the stairs and just start filling this out. So this is going to be 4 wide by 16 in length. Once you have the floor done, what we're going to do is now we're going to put a surrounding wall around this. So this should be 4 by 16 by another 4. And it should look something like this. Then we're going to go in the middle, so 1, and fill this all in. Once that's done, you're going to go 2 from the edge. We're going to punch this out. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, and 2. Once you have your holes in the floor, what we're going to do is you're going to get your packed or blue ice. We're going to place that there. 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. Then get your signs. Doesn't matter what version, just as long as there's a sign. I like to place mine on the inside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a lantern. So what's going to happen is we're going to put a water source block right here and here. So we're going to put a lantern right here to prevent this water source from ever freezing. You can either put a roof over it, or you could put this as a glow block. I always prefer just putting a lantern. It's nice, simple, and easy. And then do the same thing on the other side. So since this is getting the water source block here on the right, we're going to go down on that area and put one there, and there'll be another one right here. So again, get your water source, put one, it should go curve around, then the next one should go straight out from there. And continue from there. And right now your water should be going around in a complete circle, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Don't make it go in opposite directions, or this will break it. Once you have this AFK part working, what we're going to do is we're going to test this out. So let's go in and make sure it spins you around in full circle. Again, I mentioned this before, but maybe you skipped it. When you do this, what I would recommend is if you're on Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch, to put an elastic around the right trigger just to make this automatically mine anything that it's looking at. If you're on PC, what you could do is you could go through and go to your settings, go to mouse and keyboard. Where you see it says attack, destroy, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the button, and then what I do is I have the enter key at the bottom right of my keyboard. I hit that, it should say return. If you go back in, you can put something heavy on it. I put my wallet, my phone, whatever I want around, and I'll place it on it, and it will automatically make you mine whatever you're looking at. And once you're done, what you could do is just take it off, oops, and switch it back to normal. Another thing to note too is I've been going around in circles is depth strider. If you have depth strider on your boots, it will mess up the AFK part of this, so make sure to take it off. As you can see, I took it off, or sorry, I put it on, and right away I stopped once I hit the ice part in the water because it killed my momentum. As soon as you take that off, switch it, let's take it off, you can see my speed gradually increases, giving me enough momentum that when I hit the ice, it'll just push me through. Again, same thing with the boots. Don't use Frostwalker. What this will do is it'll defeat the purpose of the AFK part. By this point, you should have a fully functional ice farm in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. One of the benefits of this farm is you can always expand it out on the far side if you'd like. If you end up finding this useful, let me know in the comments. If there's something that's broken or there's a patch, again, let me know in the comments. If you found this video useful, always give it a like. It helps me out so much. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you guys have a great day.